Welcome back to this CSS series. In this video, we are moving straight into working with fonts. If you are a designer, you know that typography is incredibly important. So don't be surprised that when you learn CSS, a lot of folks start with fonts. The CSS specifications give us a lot of control when working with fonts. But for this course, I want to zero in on the most basic font properties, specifically the four most common ones you'll see when working with CSS. First, we have font family, next font weight, font style, and finally font size. Let's take a look at each one in turn. The font family specifies which font to use. You can list multiple fonts as backups. It also includes a fallback font. In this example here, the first font that we want would be Times New Roman. If that is not available, then we'll go to Times, and finally, if Times is not available, then we'll just fall back to whatever the system's default serif is. Next up, we have font weight. The font weight helps us specify how heavy or light a font is. Its specification has few values like normal, bold, bolder, lighter, and then numeric values, where 100 is the very lightest and 900 is the heaviest. Mind you, not every font has every weight available. So let's say you specify a medium weight for a font and it's not available, well, it would fall back to normal. Next up, we have font style, and as the name implies, this lets us specify the style for a font. We have three possible values for this. The first is normal, which is just default, italic and oblique. Now, just like all the font weights aren't available for every family. So not every font family has a metallic or oblique version. So if you specify one of those and the style's not available, then the browser will try to effectively fake it by tilting it. Bother most people, but if you love typography, this could drive you nuts. So beware of that. The last of these most common properties is the font size. This is how you can specify the size for a given element. You see, when it comes to choosing a font for your website, I want to talk about a couple of options. First, there are system fonts and then, therefore, web fonts. CSS gives us the ability to display fonts that are not on a client's machine. These are called web fonts. Some of them are free, such as Google fonts, and others require payment or licensing, like Adobe fonts. In short, system fonts are pre-installed on most computers. For example, Times New Roman, Arial. While web fonts are basically external style sheets that you can include in your project, and there's a few ways you can go about that. For including web fonts, you can link to an external style sheet, or you can bring in a style sheet via JavaScript. The latter method is what you'll commonly see if you're working with web fonts via Google Fonts, Adobe Fonts, or a similar service. External fonts are really powerful as they give us the ability for brands to match typography across both website and printed assets. So of course you have to be mindful, however, that for every font style and weight that you load on a site, there's a corresponding performance implication. Are we good on this? There is a few lot to still learn, but do not worry, we will take them one after the other. Okay, thanks for watching. We will proceed to the box model in the next video. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our platform.